last week on the Nicoletti Show. There he is, Mike Ambright.
Dude, you got so much energy. I was about to fall asleep, but now I'm like wide awake. Yeah, man.
How did you even get to the point of, hey, I'm starting that mastermind?
I think I started it really as a social thing to hang out with people and build my own kind of community. And it turned into way more than I could have ever expected. Many of my members I would consider some of my very best friends in the world. Like, it's just a community of people that are traveling all over the world together. It's a bunch of people that are kind of doing business and doing life together.
That is so cool. It's not just keeping it on the surface level. It's getting deep and building and forming relationships.
But one of the things about a job is it's unfortunate that a lot of people, it feels like a safety net or it's a cushion.
How do they get through that transition of going through that employee to business owner mindset?
What I would say for people that are getting started is you have to commit your time in a way to where you don't come home from a job and flip on the TV and spend all your time either building somebody else's dream or business and then wasting the rest of your time on things that add no value to your life. So you need to spend at least as much time on building your own dreams as you do on building somebody else's. It's not forever, but you got to get out of the gate, right? You might still be at that job, but that job's dead to you. You're in transition mode.
Yeah.
And every waking moment you have outside of your job is building your thing. The only thing that will cause you to fail is quitting.
How do you avoid failure in business and build a business that serves you?
Failures are just stepping stones to more success. Like, you have to touch the hot stove. You have to do things that are painful in order for you to realize what not to do. The goal is not to not fail. It's to like get back up again and learn from that so you don't do the same mistake more than once. So the question is, will you break through that ceiling and over the course of a 20 or 30 year career, break through 10 of those ceilings and be at a level that you never imagined you could be at, which is going to bring you amazing freedom and relationships and impact and all these things? Or will you keep essentially starting over with something new every 2 or 3 years, and in the same 20 or 30 years be either a couple years into something new or back at the starting gate, while the person that just kept pushing forward made it look like an overnight success? And he's like, it's not. He just didn't give up.
Thanks again so much for coming on, brother. Appreciate you.
Great to see you. Thanks for the opportunity.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another live on the Nicoletti Show, another Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Can't believe it. It's another Wednesday rolling. It's amazing. The year's just rolling. The episodes are rolling, and it's crazy. We are in season 6, and we are having guest after guest, amazing guests that are providing value to you all out there. And it's another exciting season. So scan the QR code at the top of the screen. That's where you can find all the guests that have been on the Nicoletti Show, and you can find all of our content on YouTube, social media, Instagram, you name it, on the show, and of course on everything with probate, quiet title, partitions, all the weird stuff. You can find it out there. And we got another great episode that's going to provide value to people out there. If you're watching, no matter what market you're in, this is going to be a great one. Doesn't mean it's just Florida or just one particular state. It's nationwide. This is going to be one for you. Whether you're in California, Ohio, listen up to this one. And my guy, Steve Cohen, he's going to bring the heat when it comes to boots on the ground. And this is going to be a great one. So I got my pen, paper. I'm ready to take notes. I hope you are too. So let's rock this thing. Hey, everybody. My name is Al Nicoletti. I'm an attorney here in Florida. And welcome to the Al Nicoletti Show, where I bring on real estate super investors, rising rock stars, movers and shakers, and leaders of clubs in their communities that educate, entertain, and inspire all things on Florida real estate, and always bringing the best in the game to you. No matter what industry they're in on real estate adjacent, marketing, branding, Airbnb, short-term rentals, you name it. We are going to bring the best guests on how you can take your company to the next level. On my show today, I have Steve Cohen from InvestorBootz. This is going to be an episode that you all want to pay attention to, no matter if you're in the Florida market, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina. I know that we have the loyal fans and followers out there of the Al Nicoletti Show that are not just in Florida, but all over the country. And this episode is one that you want to pay attention to with Steve. I met Steve at Family Mastermind. Love the guy from the minute I met him. He's ready to do business. He's ready to help solve problems. And that's something we always strive to find in our industry, a problem solver, finding the solutions to your problems. So without further ado, let's welcome Steve to the show. Steve, there he is. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. Dude, 6 seasons? Congrats, Al. That's freaking awesome. I'm so pumped to be here today.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just flown by. I mean, year after year, I mean, we've had the most incredible guests, and being on season 6, it's just rolling, and we get to have people like you, and that's what's exciting. We got to connected family, and there's nothing more exciting than having guests like you on, Steve. So, Steve, just to give everybody a background for you, like, how did you get into this industry, and where are you today with InvestorBootz?
InvestorBootz. I got started when I actually wanted to become a wholesaler myself. And I was putting together my team, my partner and I, and we had just the best people picked out top to bottom: attorney, acquisitions, dispo, transaction coordinator, insurance. I mean, you name it. We had everybody handpicked from other companies that we were going to bring on board and work for our company. And when we kept going through the complete transaction, what we were finding out that at the end of the day, there was still this one element to these transactions where we were going to have to rely on somebody random that we've never met in our life before that could completely make or break the deal for us. And that was, of course, getting boots on the ground, getting paperwork signed, getting photos, lock boxes. And we started doing our research, and there was nobody out there. Nobody existed. And that's really what piqued my interest. There was a need in the industry at the time, and that's what really made me transition into figuring out a problem or a solution for this problem.
Wow, great. And it must have blown up ever since. There must be so many people that are in the game that really need that help because they're trying to tap into markets or areas that are not easily accessible, right? Or you can't find the right people. And by building a business like that, you've been able to help others and achieve that. What's it been like for you, Steve, running this kind of business? Because you're not just doing it in one state, but you're doing it all over. And when you do that, you go at a high volume pace with people, and running a high volume business is a lot. I know what it's like on the probate side. What has been what has it been like running that high volume business for you?
It definitely has its challenges. I would say one thing we run into often is we keep just outgrowing our teams. We'll hire a CFO, we'll hire all these different people, and we're just outgrowing on that record pace, moving on to the next team, next team, next team. We're always having to get caught up until finally we're at a place right now where we're pretty stable. But that's definitely a big challenge that we've faced because there's such a need for this industry. I have yet to tap into the full potential. I know that. It's growing at such a rapid rate where we're literally throttling back onboarding some clients at certain times throughout the year and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it is a real challenge too, because demand for the service and the business, and everybody probably needs it now because they got these deals that are going and everybody needs things done. So crazy. And Steve, let's dive in on this because I know that there's a lot of different things that you guys get into with InvestorBootz, but there's definitely some concepts that stand out more than others with your industry. And a lot of real estate investors hear that speed is king, but most don't know how to operationalize that. How does InvestorBootz give investors that competitive edge in time-sensitive situations?
So in real estate investing, speed is everything. And the first to take action usually wins. So as you know, when a seller is motivated, they often reach out to several investors at once. They're inputting their information on as many websites as possible because they're in need of cash. And if an investor doesn't have access to boots on the ground quickly, another investor using my company is going to. And that's what we do. We eliminate those delays that investors experience by being able to deploy field agents same day. And our goal is to really help our clients lock in deals even before their competition gets started. I don't know if you know it, but right now there are thousands of investors just around the country. In their current business model, what they do is when they get a lead or it's ready to get paperwork signed or they need to go get photos or set up a lockbox or do a showing, their SOP is they're going to go on Google or they're going to go on Craigslist. They're going to go on Thumbtack. They're going to go on Yelp. They're going to go into Facebook message boards asking for favors. They literally call up local realtors and split part of the fee just to go out and get them photos. And this stuff takes days. There's no way to hold the people accountable that they're finding. And what we've done is we have an instant scheduling system. I've built out a state-of-the-art scheduling portal. And our clients are able to place orders within a matter of minutes for service anywhere nationwide.
Wow. Yeah, and speed does kill, right? I know that in my business, when it comes to probates being done, one thing that I think really stuck out for a lot of investors was the fact that there are ways to get probates done in a matter of weeks to at least a couple months versus what people would hear would take 2 years, 3 years. I mean, people used to hear probate and they thought, oh, that's going to take a year, 2, 3 years. But when it's not going to take that long, it's a matter of a couple weeks. It's amazing. Same thing in your industry. I mean, it gives you that competitive edge. And I think everybody, it doesn't matter like whether it's getting a contract from a seller, a title company closing the deal, or inspections being done. Like in any sort of realm in our business, the speed at which it's done is the kill, right? I mean, that's everything.
If we can just buy back that time for our clients, that's what we want to do. We want to get them back on the phones, doing what they do best, locking in deals, making more calls, pushing more deals through the finish line, handling the critical tasks. If we can just buy back that time, cut out all that manual coordination of having to locate somebody, vet them, hire them, schedule them, tell them what you need, and then that doesn't even include what happens if they don't show up, if they cancel, if they're a no-show and everything like that. Again, the goal is to be able to buy back all of that time for our clients and their teams. We're onboarding companies every day. I mean, some of these companies have 4, 5, and 6 people, and all their sole job is to go on these websites and be project managers. Right. Find people in these local markets, tell them what the heck they need to get done, and micromanage them every step of the way. And we completely eliminate all of that.
Amazing. So just to refresh and go over, what exactly is it that you're helping the other people with when it comes to these services? Like, what is it that you can help people nationwide do that changes the game? Like, give me some scenarios and case studies that you've seen where the speed kills that has helped investors scale their business.
So, for example, we had a client the other day call us. He was in Phoenix, Arizona, and the seller was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And he was on the phone with the seller in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he couldn't get the guy to commit to a deal. And he ended up coming across our website. He used our service. We were able to send out a representative within 24 hours of that phone call to go to that guy's house, get photos, set up a lockbox, and get the paperwork signed. And it completely just impressed the crap out of that seller that this investor was able to get somebody out to the property that quickly. So we're able to do stuff like that. We're able to help investors shatter the geographical limitation they face. So many investors get that tunnel vision. They get comfortable working in their backyard. They set a radius. They're willing to drive 3 hours away from their home to go get their own photos. And that's their business. It's just not scalable. We're able to shatter that geographical limitation investors face and get them to be able to be nationwide virtual wholesalers.
Yeah, that's great. That helps everybody so much, because think about what happened since the pandemic. I mean, everybody's basically gone virtual.
Yeah.
A lot of people are in California doing deals in Florida, people in Florida doing deals in Georgia and Tennessee and Georgia. So there's so many different ways that people are doing it now, but then they need services that help them bridge those gaps together. And that is going to be huge. Steve, let's talk about the power of systemizing boots on the ground, right? If you're able to systemize boots on the ground, you'll be able to get more ahead probably than other people will, right? So they know that they need the help, but they don't realize how much time that they're wasting piecing it together. Walk us through some of the scenarios where the boots on the ground helps eliminate headache and allows investors to scale without geographic limitation.
Yeah, again, it goes down to this analogy that I use. If you're an investor right now in the industry and you're not using InvestorBootz, you're basically operating your business with a screwdriver, manual crank. And InvestorBootz shows up to town, and we have the ultimate platinum titanium deluxe power drill. We have every drill bit imaginable. We probably even have some drill bits you never thought about using before. And we're able to, we're able to give investors reliability and standardized processes that they really count on for all of these services. So, for example, you mentioned being able to scale nationwide. Again, we want to encourage our clients. We want to let them know the sky's the limit. You don't have to be just stuck in your backyard. You don't have to be in your city, your county, your state. We make it possible for you to find trustworthy and reliable boots on the ground wherever your leads are nationwide.
Yeah, and do you see also the need for a lot more of the mobile notaries, like people that need the documents delivered to them, not just by FedEx or through PDF, but actually like mobile people coming out and like presenting them the documents with witnesses? Like, I feel like we see that more than ever, like especially in the small counties. Or it's so surprising to me, like when I see where people don't have email, or they maybe have a mailbox, but they just don't understand how to use the labels and everything. How have you seen, first of all, do you guys get into the mobile notary stuff? And two, how have you seen that improve investors' businesses?
Heavy. It's a major part of our business. So we handle both remote online notarizations and in-person wet notarizations. Gosh, I would say our clients are really split. We have those clients that are just adamant. They don't want to bug their seller a second time about sending somebody out to get the paperwork signed. They just want to do it remote online in the convenience of their home. Sometimes they're sick, maybe in a hospital or a nursing home where we can't send somebody. But also in-person notarizations. We're able to send people out nationwide, same day, to get documents signed and notarized. So another service we provide is document recording service. We make it possible for our clients to be able to get cloud title, get their paperwork filed at local county recorders offices, again, on a nationwide scale. So I'd really say our clients are just so split on whether they prefer remote or in-person notarizations, but it's something we handle every day.
All right, Steve, you got me. You guys actually help handle recording documents as well?
Yep. So we send our field agents to the local county recorders offices. Now, the local county recorders, their requirements are obviously, we're going to expect you to know what their requirements are. But we're able to send our field agent same day. If they don't need originals, we give them a check. They make the payment, they get the paperwork filed, and we ship you guys back the originals. You know, we did one the other day in Texas. The population of this county, no joke, was 40. And it took somebody 2 hours to drive into the city, but we were able to get it done.
Okay, so scenario. So Mike and I are having a great time over here. So let's just say there were deeds that needed to get recorded, right? Let's just say there's 4 or 5 deeds that have to get recorded in the county.
Yeah.
You're able to get them either signed and notarized and witnessed, and then also take the additional step to get them recorded as well?
Yeah, so typically if it's in the same area, we'll typically send a notary or that same field agent to go get it done. If it needs to be shipped to another field agent in another county where it has to be recorded, that's how we handle those. But yeah, we handle it all from start to finish.
So if it's something that gets signed and notarized in Escambia in the Panhandle, but it's got to go all the way down to Naples, Florida, you'll find the 2 service providers and coordinate all of that?
Our clients will spend 3 to 4 minutes placing the order online, say, hey, the signing takes place here, file it here, and they're back on the phones closing deals.
Okay, hold on. If anybody's watching this right now, which there's going to be a lot of people watching this. If you're not getting in touch with Steve over these services, recording or on mobile notary or whatever it is, you need to get in touch with Steve, because like he said, there's a lot of different tools in the tool belt, and you got to find out what the company is able to do, because there may be some things that you guys don't even know about that they can help with and coordinate with. That's a huge value add right there. Like, I'm even thinking about that in my business right now, right? Where there's certain times where we need either things recorded or brought down to the county courthouse. And there's, Steve, there's e-recording software, but it's not the same. It's like
it's the same. There's definitely something about sending somebody down there. Those are my clients that truly get the benefit of using my service and truly understand the power of having a nationwide resource for boots on the ground. We did an order this morning in Big Bear, California for a client of ours. They own an Airbnb. They shipped a blanket, batteries, and photos to our field agent. and the field agent changed the batteries in the front door, set up the photos, and put the blankets on the couch. So these are our clients that understand the power, again, like I said, of having this resource. We do construction updates for rehabbers. They'll send in our field agents every 2 weeks to go get photo updates to see where the contractors are at. Like that. So it's like we can get as creative as you want with these services. The bottom line is we have this nationwide resource available for you guys so that you're not having to spend time, you know, coordinating all of these various tasks that are so essential for these transactions. You guys are so, everybody in the industry, look at on the data side, CRMs are awesome. The lead generation companies are awesome. The listing services are awesome. All of this data stuff is freaking awesome. There is a physical aspect to every single one of these transactions that needs to get done, sometimes multiple. And that's where we come into play. And that's why in 2025, we're definitely getting in bed more with these data companies, the CRMs and the listing services to prompt their users at various stages for services. But, you know, the physical services are very important for these transactions.
No kidding. I mean, there's certain things that require the in-person to actually happen. Okay, so you got me totally interested in that. Can you rattle off some other things that you guys help with that would be service related that could really help elevate, like a list of some things? Because mobile notary, recording, what are some other things? Because now I'm like I'm zoned in on this.
You know, we do courier service. So oftentimes, a few times a day, we'll get an order. If the seller lives a couple hours away from the property, we can send somebody to go pick up the key, drive it down and place it in the lockbox. I'm trying to think of some of the creative stuff that we've been doing. We do driving for dollars. One of our clients has us go out and they'll just have our field agents go drive around and find distressed properties. He skip traces them. And then later on at the end of the month, he places all the orders to go get the photos and the documents signed. There's another company out there, for whatever reason, we just got about 10 of their clients, but it's AI based. And they use Google Street View to locate distressed properties for buyers. So these buyers are sending our field agents out to go do property inspections, drive-by inspections, because those Google Street View photos are anywhere from 6 to 9 months old. We're able to send somebody out same day to go get updated photos just to see what it looks like, see if it looks like it's lived in. So stuff like that where everybody gets creative, but we also have a full suite of professional services as well, Al. Locksmith, maid service, clean out, junk removal, lawn service, licensed home inspections. So there's a whole other side of this company where we offer pro services as well.
Wow. Very cool. I think that could benefit so many investors out there. Anybody doing deals, no matter where you're at. Can you actually, you know, this is usually I say this question for my signature question, Steve, but can you walk us through like what your customer acquisition process looks like? So let's just say it's like we're interested in the document recording side of things. Like, how do we become a client? What's our next steps? What does that process look like? Because walk me through what your business steps look like from the intake side to action steps to completion.
So currently right now, I don't do any kind of marketing or advertising. So it's all word of mouth right now, everybody coming into us. And they'll usually go to our website, they'll go to the link and sign right up for our service. They input their name and their business information, and everything's automated from that point. They're gonna get entered into our client dashboard. They're gonna receive a welcome email letting them know they've been added with a video that demonstrates how to place an order through my state-of-the-art scheduling portal. Then they're gonna get a link from someone on my client success team saying, hey, would you like to meet up over a live Zoom? We'd love to walk you through it live, answer your questions in real time, and show you over a Zoom how to do it. After that point, they're really ready to go. The client dashboard is so easy to use. I've taken away all the crap, all the bells and whistles. You know, it used to be, click this button, it would wash your car. Click this one, it would make a cappuccino. Literally, it just says create order now. There's 4 steps. You select the service you need, give us the address, a day and time, a point of contact, and you go on with your day, and we handle the rest for you.
Very cool. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, I think walking us through that will really help us, because I'm thinking, all right, you know, I'm ready to use Steve. Like, how does it all roll? So just go straight to the website, sign up, fill it out. It's all there.
It's all there. We want it to be super fast for you guys. Again, I can't stress enough. And when you start working with us, you're going to feel it. We want to take as much work off your plate as possible.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be coordinating schedule times with sellers. You shouldn't have to be worrying if somebody has to cancel or reschedule. We're handling all of that stuff from you guys from start to finish after you place the order.
What's funny is usually when we have guests on the show, we're getting into like certain situations, but I love plugging your services because I feel like the plug of the services is the value add because I know there's somebody going to be listening and tuning in going, oh my gosh, where's this guy been for the last 5 years? Right? Like how do we, right?
Every day we're onboarding guys. I mean, whales in the industry. We did one yesterday and he couldn't believe it existed. And we're onboarding the guys that are doing their first deal, and they're just like, I'm going to get started. And I have some stats here too I was going to share with you. So more than 60% of our clients increase their order volume within 3 months of working with us. All right. Those are the guys that are just getting their first deals. 60% of our clients are increasing their order volume within 3 months. We're helping them transition from occasional investor to full-time deal makers at that point. That's how we like to look at it. And 45% of our clients are expanding into new markets within 3 months of using our services. And again, it just goes back to us being able to remove that geographical limitation, that bottleneck, allowing investors to scale nationally.
Incredible. Well, great stuff, Steve. And we'll make sure we plug you at the end of the show too about like the states and everything. One other topic that you get into is how the right property data and visuals help investors close more deals and get larger assignment fees, because many investors rely on these low quality photos or vague property descriptions when trying to wholesale or flip properties. Explain to us why having the right data and visuals can be a game changer in closing deals faster for more profit.
So there was a report that came out from 2024. It was a NAR report, and they said listings with videos receive 300% more. It was 303% more inquiries than those without walkthrough videos. And they said listings with videos and floor plans receive 423% more inquiries than those that don't have them. So what we're doing is we've recently moved to a bundled type service. So we've packaged all of our services into various bundles for our clients. And what we want to do is we want to give them as many resources as possible so that they're not just using seller photos. I was watching an episode of, I was watching another YouTube clip, and they were saying 97% of listings use seller photos. And I couldn't believe it. So just by using our field agent photos alone, and by bundling our services, getting the photos, a 2D floor plan, room measurements, a walkthrough video, you're so far ahead of the competition at that point. Your offers are higher. You're getting way more bids. This is all coming back from our clients. And they're telling us their buyers are making the most confident decisions they've ever made. It's like no-brainer decisions for them because they're giving them just so many assets to sell these homes sight unseen without them having to step foot into the property.
Really cool. That's it. And it sounds like a big game changer for people.
Yeah.
It all goes back to the speed, convenience as well. And having that like customer service right at your fingertips can just change what you're doing in your business. And like you said, there's people that haven't even heard about this or the ability for this to actually happen, which is huge for people out there. Steve, great stuff. And again, you're in every state, right? Like it doesn't matter what state it is, you're everywhere.
Everywhere. I've never turned anybody down for business ever.
Wow. That's amazing.
Currently, my database is sitting between 330,000 and 340,000 across the country.
Wow. I mean, the data is just going to keep going, and especially if it's plugged in with more of the CRMs out there.
Definitely. We're going to be working with a few good ones this upcoming year. So we're really excited about that.
Well, great. If you're listening and watching, or you're tuning in later, you're hearing about this, you got to watch this whole thing, because there are services that Steve's company does that it can be a game changer for business. And there's other people that are using it. So definitely tune in for this. Steve, I do these questions at the end of my show called signature questions. So just got a few for you. A lot of us hear that one piece of advice at the early stage of our career, and maybe really at any point in our career, that really just sticks with us, right? We always remember what that is. What was some of the best advice you ever heard when getting into your business?
I would say the best advice that I heard, would definitely be two things. I think what really helped me is have a great attorney, have a great CPA, bottom line. And luckily, my attorney and my CPA have been instrumental in my career. So they've almost mentored me in a way where they've introduced me to everybody else that's come into my business and onto my team. So having those two key positions in place were just game changers for me.
Yeah. And I know there's plenty of investors and real estate professionals that know that having your attorneys in order, the ones that are really deep in the trenches, in the niches, their specialties and experts in their industry is key. And then of course, having a CPA, I even would add the bookkeeper as well. Bookkeeper, total game changer in the last 2 years for me, being able to really take the cost and really lay out where the gaps were and where the high expense ratios were in my business, and being able to eliminate it the next year. Because if you see your expenses are way too high in one area, it's like, wait a second, we need to eliminate some stuff. So
to a point where you can start moving levers around when you see the data like that, it's a game changer. So
yeah. I feel like I know what the answer is going to be. I'm curious to see what this is, but the market sometimes goes up, it goes down. Nobody knows where it's really going. But in our businesses, we always got to be ready for the worst. How do you ensure and protect your business in a down market?
In 3 years of business, my business has been on a steady incline. So that being said, I've never experienced a dip. I've literally seen steady trending. Now, that being said, we are planning on moving into different industries. Insurance, if insurance carriers need photos of property accidents, as they're happening, stuff like that. So we are planning on using our field agents for other industries, and we're kind of getting ready into 2025 to segment out into other industries. So that might be a little bit of an insurance policy there for us. But like I said, knock on wood, it's just been steady growth the whole way.
Yeah, and I feel like with the way that your services help these real estate professionals, I feel like there's no way you would be suffering in a down market, because there's going to be real estate deals all the time, and everybody needs the photos, the lockboxes, the mobile notaries. The services are needed, and so when you're able to find a niche or business that's recession proof, depression proof, pandemic proof, you got it. Right? Because it's always going to be needed. And so for a lot of people, it's really important to find that. But if, you find yourself in real estate and you got to pivot and find something different, great. And like you're saying, you're already thinking ahead as what would we do differently? And that's a really important thing, being proactive with your business. That's huge.
Definitely. So we have our eye on a few really interesting industries for 2025.
Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. Steve, when you're in your business, I feel like you guys are at the top and you're hiring all the field agents to do everything. What are you looking for characteristic wise in those new hires as you're trying to find the field agents to do the job for InvestorBootz?
I think it's going to come down to, you're talking about our field agents.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to really the trustworthiness and their reliability. So typically they go through an assessment process that we put them through, actually Steve Richards, who has an amazing assessment process that he has proprietary, I believe it is. So they have to go through a full assessment where we're going to be able to pull some key data figures and look at it to make sure this is going to be somebody that's going to be trustworthy and reliable, be able to think on their feet, and just know how to go out there and handle business for us. So that's really what we're relying on, are those data points from those assessment tests.
Yeah, of course. The key is trust and reliability. You got to be able to depend on people, and the trust has got to be built in. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, this has been awesome. If I think I got my answer to something that I've been wondering about. Is there somebody out there that can help with recording? It was like, boom, there you go. So you and I are definitely connecting after this, because those are valuable resources for just really about any business. So if you're watching, get with Steve. Steve, can you tell people what's the best way people can get in touch with you?
Look, obviously the website, InvestorBootz.com. My email, steve@investorboots.com. Feel free to reach out to me personally. I read all of my emails. I'm happy to respond. And I believe they're going to show maybe a social media link or something like that as well.
Yeah. And we'll make sure, everybody's been seeing the phone number and the email on the bottom. So it's scrolling through. Steve, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for so much for coming on the show. I do a segment at the end, final words, final thoughts, any lasting impressions for people out there that have watched the episode. So final words, final thoughts, Steve Cohen.
The sky is the limit, guys. I can't stress it enough. If you're hesitant about going nationwide, if you're hesitant about scaling your operation because you don't think you're going to be able to find anybody trustworthy or reliable to go out there and represent your business, I'm here to tell you the sky is the limit, and you can absolutely be virtual nationwide investor instantly by using our services. So thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve. Really appreciate you. And I'll see you at Family pretty soon.
Love it.
All right, man. You take care.
Talk soon now.
All right, man.
Later.
All right, everybody. You heard it from Steve Cohen himself. Really interesting services with InvestorBootz. I think that people need to check this out, look into it, because there can be so many gaps filled by these services that are out there. And this is very unique. I haven't heard about this before. And if you've heard about this, let us know, but I haven't heard about this. And some of the services that they offer can be game changers. So go back, rewind, check that out. And if you've missed any of this episode or any of the episodes, scan the QR code at the top of the screen and find us right there on social media. And we look forward to another Wednesday night in the Al Nicoletti studio. This has been another great episode. I hope you all have a great night. Take care. We'll see you all next Wednesday.